would be great to understand where or to know where you're joining from and which countries. Latest we saw we had about 1,800 registrations from 43 countries, which is amazing, actually. So it would be great to understand where you're joining from. We have Jordan, and we have Egypt. We have Jordan again, Algeria, Emirates. We're starting in a few minutes, but we're just trying to understand where you're joining from. We have India, great. We have Lebanon, fantastic. We have Emirates again. We have Qatar, great, great. Bahrain, Iraq, Kurdistan, Saudi Arabia. Oh, Libya, fantastic. We have Jordan. I'm sure we have a great audience from Jordan and Saudi and the Gulf countries. Qatar as well. I think we have great attendance from Qatar. That's great. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. We'll start the session in a few minutes. We're just trying to use the time to let people join, and then we'll introduce our session and our great panelists. So we have Jordan, Iraq as well. Wa alaikum assalam. United Arab Emirates. Qatar as well. Great to have you guys. Palestine. Great. Jordan, I'm sure we have great audience today. We had more than 1,800 registration until just maybe an hour before the session from 43 countries. So it's quite amazing the numbers that we're seeing and where people are joining from. And we look forward, I'm sure, to a great session with everyone. Egypt, great to have Egypt on board. Oh, Morocco, fantastic. I think one more minute or 2 more minutes and we'll start. I hope you can hear us well. So if can anyone actually tell us that you can hear us? Sweden, fantastic. Wow. Great, thank you, Jumana. So I think we're about to start, just maybe 1 or 2 minutes. Fantastic that we see people are joining, numbers are increasing. Saudi Arabia, welcome on board. I'm sure it's different time zones in different countries, so that also affects where people are joining from. So that is something to keep in mind. Lebanon. Great numbers are increasing and we're getting people to join. We're starting very soon. All right. I think we can start. Maybe 1 more minute. Of course, we have attendees actually on Zoom and we have attendees as well on Facebook. This session is actually live streamed directly on Facebook. I'll start maybe a few notes about the session, and maybe we can get to the introduction to our panelists and our topic today. So welcome to the QRTA and Ed Heroes talk today. This is a special edition, actually, of our QRTA talk, where we're joining cooperation with our partners at Ed Heroes. This is a great cooperation between our two institutions. I'd like to welcome you everyone to the session. Welcome on board, wherever you're joining from. And I'm sure that you've probably attended previous sessions, QRTA talk sessions from QRTA. I'd like to remind everyone that we have instant translation. You can press on the interpretation button, which looks like a globe, شكل الكرة الأرضية, on Zoom. So you can actually press on it and choose the language that you would like choose Arabic, basically, if you would like Arabic interpretation. Or if you're listening to us and you'd like to continue to listen in English, also that is welcome. So welcome on board. Just to remind everyone that there is a feedback forum at the end of the session that will be distributed, which will be available when you're exiting the session. It will be also posted on the chat panel, and you can submit feedback to us. We also welcome questions. While you can submit your questions during the session, we'll be able, hopefully, to take some of the questions during the session, but hopefully we'll take more questions at the end. We're allowing time for that, so hopefully we'll do that. I'd like to remind everyone as well that there is a certificate of attendance that will be emailed to you after the session. For everyone who attends more than 30 minutes, there is a link that will be posted on the chat for people to fill, to make sure you're getting your names and your spelling correctly. So stay tuned. After 30 minutes, this will be posted. One last reminder that this session is actually live streamed on Facebook. It's on Zoom, but it's also on Facebook. Interpretation, of course, is only available on Zoom, so for everyone to know. And certificates of attendance for people who register on Zoom and attend on Zoom, of course, because we can't track who attends on Facebook. And again, instant translation is available through the globe button or the earth button on the Zoom application. You can press on it and take it from there. Let me start with without further ado, let me start with our session. So our session today is special. And in formulating our topic the other day, our topic is about family and education and focusing more on social media and education. This relationship between the 3 or 4 names within this title, actually, it brings curiosity to us. And that's why we thought that this cooperation between the different entities, Ed Heroes and QRTA, is a great cooperation between us. I'd like to introduce our partner, Ed Heroes. Ed Heroes movement aims to create a global network of individuals, nonprofit organizations, businesses, and government organizations to explore new solutions to the challenges education is facing today. The Ed Heroes movement puts emphasis on family interests, offering protection, support, and solid foundation in their journey to success and well-being. Ed Heroes also creates a community to improve access to quality education. So welcome, Ed Heroes. It's great to be working together and introducing this session across the globe, to be honest. I mean, having 43 countries join this session is global by all means. So thank you, Farhanisa, and thank you for the partnership, Ed Heroes, and thank you, Peter, from Ed Heroes, our partners. Introducing QRTA as well. I mean, you know us, you know QRTA, but let me just say a few words about us, about QRTA. QRTA offers innovative and evidence-based professional development programs informed by international best practices. We offer professional development programs for principals and teachers, actually. We provide, we've been doing this since 2009, and thankfully we reached, of course, to the support of our partners, to more than 90,000 professional development opportunities in Jordan and across the region, which is great. We've been providing teacher professional development and professional development programs for principals and school leaders across the region. In Jordan, we started in Jordan, and we're currently operating in Jordan and the region. So introducing our topic, and this is a great time to be talking about the topic. So when we mention social media and education together, it gets complicated. Social media is a complicated topic by itself, and when you add education to it, it's quite interesting. I'm always curious, actually, that social media is used for social purposes or business purposes. But how social media is used for education purposes, this was actually a curious question that we had in mind when we started the preparation of our session. And when we added family to this was more interesting, to be honest, because what family, what's the role of the family, and what's the role of the teacher in supporting our students in their learning and using social media as a tool for learning. So this is really what we thought about the topic of our session. And without delays, let me introduce our panelists. Farhanisa is the project chairperson at EdHeroes Asia, a journalist and the news anchor for CNN Indonesia. Welcome on board, Farhanisa. Peter, I know Peter actually quite maybe 12 years ago. Peter is an entrepreneur. He's a member of the EdHeroes Advisory Board. He's an expert in mobile games development and brand management. He's the founder of Slush, Mobile Monday, and many other actually applications and companies. He's the co-founder of Fun Academy, an early education company that provides pedagogical solutions based on a unique fun learning approach. Welcome on board, Peter.
Thank you.
And great to be also introducing our colleague, Mohammed Janahi. Mohammed is the head of outreach at Teach for Qatar organization. He works to spread and share knowledge in the education community. He has a great mix actually. He graduated in mechanical engineering and over the years has been shifting into education. Peter, welcome on board. Mohammed, welcome on board.
Thank you, Abed.
And the amazing Aya as well. So I've got the opportunity to be introduced to Aya a few weeks ago. Aya is an IB teacher. She's the team leader and she's a team leader and math specialist at the English Talent School in Jordan. She's an educator that shares best practices in primary classroom through social media. And she's gonna amaze you with the examples she's gonna share during the session. Welcome on board, Aya. So starting to think about the session, what would come to mind when we say social media and education? And again, my thinking at the beginning was social media is used for social purposes. So how come we're talking about social media and education? I would love to actually get an introduction about how does this mix fit together and how social media, when we talk about social media and education, what does that mean? And we'll leave this to our great journalist and news anchor, Farhanisa, to talk about it. Go ahead, Farhanisa.
Well, thank you very much, Abed, for the introduction. First of all, hello from Jakarta, Indonesia, everyone. It is truly an honor for me to participate in this distinguished forum. And thank you so much for Queen Rania Teacher Academy for organizing this cooperation between EdHeroes and Queen Rania Teacher Academy. Talking about social media, first thing we have to realize that we are currently living in this very rapidly changing era since the invention of internet technology. I mean, the whole social contract and contact is altered. The old concept of everything is changing. The old concept of states, the old concept of money, even the concept of reality is changing with the presence of metaverse. I believe we all very familiar with that right now. And the pandemic also helps accelerating the disruptions by forcing us all to adapt and get used to technology no matter who and where we are. I mean, you guys probably are from a different part of the world than I am here, but I believe that we are currently facing the nearly similar situation when it comes to technology and the disruption. Especially when it comes to interacting and education. Not so long ago, I believe we all are familiar with the concept of attending classes at school to learn, get to meet teacher physically. But now we learn that we could actually learn from anywhere, not only through conventional way and conventional media, but also by utilizing social media platforms such as YouTube, Instagram, podcast, and many more. Social media has gained incredible popularity over the past few years, and as an open source of information, as well as the knowledge sharing platform. It helps students, teachers, parents to connect and get more useful information, as well as to connect with learning groups and other educational systems, I believe. It could also improve learning methods. However, as a media practitioner, as a journalist and news anchor, I get to see a bird view, some sort of bird view of this site. I noticed there are several differences in the behavior of social media user for education purposes, business purposes, and socializing purposes. People who use social media for business, for example, and socializing tends to focus more on the numbers. For example, the numbers of engagement in the platform that could be seen from likes, subscriptions, and shares, because let's be honest, they could generate profit from the AdSense, right? And while with social media user for education purposes tends to focus more on the quality of content, they juggle more with creativity and as well as knowledge. The use of social media and technology presents both advantages as well as challenges. Mostly its benefits seen in terms of accessing course contents, a video clip, transfer of the instructional notes, and etc. In my country, Indonesia, for example, overall students feel that social media and mobile devices are the cheap and convenient tools for obtaining relevant information. This put some challenges, because when it comes to technology, then we have to know that there are the two sides of the coins, there should be a literacy on that, because social media provides anything and literally anything. So it seems like the filter needs to come from us, from ourselves. So while obtaining information, I've also reached a researcher from the University of Central Florida that reported that electronic devices and social media creates a lot of opportunity to students for collaborative learning, and also allow the students in sharing the resources, materials to the colleagues. I believe, Abed, this is a very interesting things to be discussed. There are still a lot of room to be explored. Amid all the challenges, I believe we all could learn from each other to find the best methods in utilizing social media in education. And we have the experts here already ready and to talk further on that. I think that's all from me as the beginning, Abed.
Fantastic. Thank you, Farhanisa. And exactly what you said. And the fact that we have experts on the session, it makes it more interesting, to be honest. I'd love to actually invite our colleague Muhammad to share some of his experience. He's been doing a lot of great practical, actually, activities. I wouldn't talk about it. I would leave it to him. Muhammad.
Hi, everyone, and thank you for sharing or giving me this opportunity to speak to this great audience. I would like to start my part by says necessity is the mother of invention. And I think the necessity that I have faced was the attracting or grabbing the attention of my students. I started teaching grade 8 on 2014, and I was lucky to teach mathematics, which is considered one of the challenges in the schools globally. So it was really a challenge for me to grab their attention. And I found, although it wasn't like a huge period of time between time I graduated from grade 8 till that time, but I found there was a gap between me and this new generation. So what I tried to do, I tried to close that gap and started creating videos from their local environment, because I was sharing with them international videos, media, but it wasn't engaging for them. So what I did, I started going to our local shops and market and school environment and parks, museums, and created videos that links the subject to the daily life situations. This is an example of me entering one of the shops of the daily, or maybe something they used to it. This kind of shop that sells the gear that I'm wearing now, thobe, and this we call vitra and regal. So they go there and buy their needs from this. So I'm just asking the salesman to give me a discount on the total price, and he gave me a discount. And he opened the book at the end of this video, and he said that you will find a solution in this page, which is today's lesson in the class. And I found this really attracting and really grabbing the attention of my students. And I found them engaged more and more when I present this kind of videos from the street. They are now watching a video on how to calculate a distance between Doha and the Shimal, which is a city in the north. And also in this video, the second one, I'm asking them to do a statistics, to count the number of fishes that I have caught during one of my fishing trips. And it was really engaging and make them interact to the class and go deeper in math, and answering the question of that is always asked to me is, teacher, why do we study math? Do we need it in real life or not? And rather than just answering them that you will need it in the exam, I decided to show them where do you use it, where do they use it in their daily life. One of the other things that I made started from is creating songs, Arabic songs for students. For example, this song is explaining the definition of the density. And this is how they practice.
كثافة المواد تعريفها سهل يسير، ما وزنها إذا أردنا بطالب لحملها، وحجمه صغير لا متر واحد.
So the idea started from the classroom and the demand of this on this media in the classroom. And then it improved step by step. Then I started posting simple videos on YouTube. And then I collaborated with my friends to create more advanced video. And then also I moved tried to put some science subjects also into my songs and my videos. And this is one of the songs that I have created explaining the differences between the animal cells and the planet cells in Arabic poetry, and it was singing. It is, we produce it as a song to the students.
Thank you. Sorry to interrupt. We'll come back to you. I'm sure that this is quite amazing. I was going to ask you, where do you share this with them? Do you share it on social media or on YouTube?
Now I share it with them on a channel called واضح, which means clear, واضح TV, on YouTube and Instagram. They will find several kind of songs and math and science.
Amazing. We'll come back to you for more actually about this. Would like to pick up the thoughts of Aya, and I have a comment to share with everyone on some of this. Aya, I'm sure your experience is different. So give us a few examples.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Yes, my experience is definitely different. So before I start sharing my experience on how I use social media, it's very important to note that I'm a primary school teacher. So my students, most of my students, they don't have social media platforms, and I don't expect them to have social media platforms. This is why I try to use these platforms as models to adapt from, to suit my students' needs, depending on the lessons that we teach or whatever we are giving them. This is to start with. Now, I teach an international program. I'm sure most of the attendees might be familiar with this program, which is the IB program. Now, the IBPYP program focuses on students' agency, which is giving the students their own voice, choice, and ownership. And this is very important because all of these social media platforms, they actually are like platforms to give the students their own voice and choice. And this is why, as a teacher in my classroom, Instagram and TikTok are used as models. How can they be used? They're used as tools to allow the students to practice collaborative thinking, collaborative thinking, and ways to connect different concepts that are around the world. Now, students have been introduced to the concept of blogs and vlogs. So they've been given always given the chance to submit their summative tasks using these different platforms. They might not actually post it on a social media platform at the end, but they use it to share their thoughts. Their classmates can give their feedback. Peer-to-peer evaluation is open when we post on similar platforms. And then we might post them on the school's platform, school's Facebook or the school's Instagram, since the students do not usually have their own accounts. As for TikTok, and TikTok have been used a lot in our classrooms. Why? Because I'm sure most of the attendees are aware of all the challenges on TikTok. Now, the challenges, we might agree with them, we might disagree with them, but in a classroom, they actually connect deeply with many of the approaches to learning skills or the 21st century skills. And they also connect deeply with many concepts that I, as a teacher, teach, whether they're math concepts, patterns, whether with the dances. They can be used as a provocation to start a unit on geometry, a unit on patterns, and even for the other teachers, if they're teaching different concepts, motion, forces, we might not find the connection immediately, but when you look at all the different challenges, you'll immediately find and you immediately see how things are connected with each other. This is me.
Yeah, that's great, fantastic, great stories, to be honest. And I'm also seeing that some of our attendees, teachers, and audience are sharing some examples, actually, using Instagram, for example, or using YouTube. The idea that Muhammad shared, to be honest, and Aya, using social media, it's not only sharing content on social media channels, but it's also bridging the gap between teachers and students. Whenever you actually whenever you talk to the students on the same level, you're actually addressing them, and they tend to understand more, and they tend to listen more, and they tend to see the teacher talking to their age and talking to them directly, without really imposing ideas on them. So this is great, and these are great, actually, positive usage of social media. But I'm sure as well there are other negative sides of social media. And there is the black side of social media, which we usually don't like to talk about. But again, I mean, this is also, there are negatives to using social media. Social media is a tool. You could use it in a positive way, or you could use it in a negative way. And for this, I'd like to invite Peter to share some of the experience about the negative side of using social media, and maybe as well the parents or the family's role in observing social media use of their kids, and as well teachers of keeping a close connection with the students. So Peter, all yours.
Hey, thank you. And I think really great examples there. First of all, I think that it's very important that we use social media. And I mean, this is again we're all living, you know, in the real world, and social media is part of the real world. So I think that this is something that, of course, in schools, we need to use the tools, we need to use the media that, you know, our kids are using, that we all are using. I think this is something that is very, very important. So again, we need to educate, you know, our kids, but we also need to educate ourselves. And I always like to say that, I mean, actually, the students and the teachers are not much like of a challenge, but I think sometimes, you know, parents can be a bit of a challenge in this discussion. And sometimes, you know, parents don't understand, you know, like what the kids are doing. What is this TikTok thing? And, you know, like, okay, yeah, Instagram and Facebook I've heard about, but there's, you know, like a continuous stream of new social media applications and new applications, new services. So of course, it's important that then the parents understand what the kids are doing. And I think also, like, again, I don't want to go like too much into like the negative side, but I think that with all tools, I mean, you can use the tools kind of like for good or for bad. And I mean, there are also many studies. I mean, if you look at, you know, studies around, for example, Instagram, that it can have very, very negative impact on especially like young girls and their, you know, like self-esteem. I mean, if you only see, you know, like all of these, you know, like very, very beautiful pictures on Instagram, you know, that might not make you feel very good about yourself. I mean, we all know, you know, like the teenage years and the challenges. So I think that this is something that we should also keep in mind, that it's not always positive impact. And we are dealing with young children that, you know, are going through, you know, the whole like growing up experience. And it's not, we all remember that it's not always easy. You know, there's a lot of peer pressure and all of that, and social media many times can, you know, amplify that. So it's something that, again, we have big responsibility as teachers, as parents, to kind of be part of that. Then I think that also, you know, if you look at social media and like the whole like online experience and all that, one thing that we've done, you know, so I'm now I'm based in Finland, and what we known for having kind of like great educational system and all of that, but also the media literacy that was referred to before. I think that it's very, very important that we really focus on that, and we help the kids understand media, social media, and also that not everything out there is true and fact and all of that. So we've been doing some campaigns, like just like, you know, we are teaching kids and like all of us how to you know, follow the rules in traffic. I mean, you know, red light, green light, you know, what it means, you know, like what the different traffic signs mean, and like all of that, you know, kind of like the rules and regulations of, you know, traffic. And I think exactly the same kind of thing we need to know about social media and like online life and all of that. And we've been running campaigns that are similar to kind of like these classic like traffic safety, you know, like look both ways before crossing the street, you know, simple things like that. And I think that we need this for social media and, you know, for dealing with media in general, like online, that we know how it works, and we know kind of like the rules of the road, if you will, also when it comes to social. So I think that there's a lot of opportunity, but also it's very important to understand what we are dealing with. And I think this is something that it's not about just, you know, like school teachers and students, but this is something that should be discussed in every home. And it's an important dialogue to have with your kids, so you understand that what are they actually doing and what are these challenges on TikTok and like, you know, all of that. So I think that, yeah, a lot of opportunity, but also very important to know kind of like the rules of the road, so to say.
Thank you, Peter. You've honestly addressed the main aspects that we were talking about earlier. Of course, I mean, again, social media is only a tool. You could use it in a positive way and you could use it in a negative way. The positives, in my opinion, exceed the negatives, but it only depends how we use it. Just like want to remind actually our audience that translation is available. If you press on the globe button على تبعية الكرة الأرضية، نحكيها بالعربي بس مشان المستمعين يعرفوا وين. If you press on the icon, on the globe icon, and you choose Arabic, you get instant translation in Arabic. There are certificates for anyone who attends more than 30 minutes, and you'll get actually a link soon posted by our I think they just posted that right now. If you fill it, you'll hopefully receive a certificate soon. One aspect that Peter was talking about, and I'd like maybe to touch on it a little bit more, is the role of parents and how should parents react to this? We always get afraid when our kids actually join social media. And I'd like to bounce this question maybe to Farhanisa because of the family engagement that you have at Heroes, and how you've what's your experience on this, and how should we as parents react? And I know as well as I just want to mention one thing. I mean, we've mentioned TikTok maybe today several times, but only because TikTok is a new trend, to be honest. And students are sharing, or kids are sharing content to their peers. So we're at a time at the moment that kids are sharing content with their peers, you know, and maybe later on we'll talk more about parents and about teachers. But this is where TikTok, the advantage of TikTok, that it's sharing content directly between students. Back to the part around parents, how should we react, for Hanisa, as parents? Should we be afraid? Should we stop the accounts of our kids? What should we do?
Yeah, when it comes to internet and a lot of trends happens in there, especially one of the things that is massively happening and currently ongoing all over the world is the TikTok trends. With the pandemic causing more kids to stay at home, experts say that children are spending more time, you know, scrolling on social media as a result. We're living in a world that's filled with social media, starting from TikTok trends, Snapchat streaks to Instagram influencers. And it's something that I think parents are noticing as well. And while parents, you know, cannot control everything that their children see and upload online, there are some ways to make sure that they are as protected as possible. Because internet addiction, lack of awareness of digital citizenship, and ineffective parental control have led to increased cybersecurity risks facing the younger generations all over the world. Lately, you know, we've seen some scary news and stories that show the dangers of social media making headlines around the world. Parents need to watch out at the hidden applications and, you know, block their kids' laptop cameras when they're not using them so they aren't hacked. That are some of the technical things that parents could do. But we think that most importantly, though, parents need to make sure there's an open communication, you know, so the kids feel more comfortable coming to their parents and talk about a problem. Previously, Peter has mentioned that the challenges youth might face in social media that's related with self-esteem, for example. If parents and children could communicate openly about it, it could be one of the most effective ways to, you know, tackle the harm caused by social media, because everything starts from family. And as a member of society, we need to do our part as well. As a journalist, I see the role of media and social media in educating people and spread awareness about certain causes are still one of the most effective ways to prevent harm and dangerous sides of social media. If I could share my screen, I would like to show what are we doing actually with at Heroes, and especially in Asia and in Indonesia. So we held a conference back in October, so in 2021. So it's related to the manifesto. The manifesto is actually some sort of the core value that we have in At Heroes, where we encourage education to focus on family needs. You know, in response to global uncertainties, education should have a family interest at heart, because everything starts from the family as the first and the smallest units of society. The pivotal mission here is to support families worldwide on their journey to success and well-being, providing them with access to high-quality education. And the primary mission of any family is raising a competent individual, a citizen who can create a love and, you know, make positive choices. And while utilizing social media and in spreading these kind of values could be the greatest thing that we have probably, because the pandemic, made it clear that the family is the central platform for every child's education and upbringing. In many countries, since the pandemic started, we are doing the online schools and online teachings, and problems starts appearing, right? Everywhere, all around the world, including my country, which is the Indonesia. We struggled at first, but as time goes by, we learned that, we need to make friends with the technology while not losing our value. We don't compromise on value. So we still be, spread the word of kindness and sharing quality contents in social media and still get a lot of views on that. That is proven with our forum, which is in the was held in the last October, that gained a quite amazing and impressive numbers of young family needs that feel the needs to learn about how to tackle the issue and the situation right now. And as events unfolded, everyone is involved in education, had to respond to unprecedented challenges. And this is who is a net heroes. A head heroes is any individual or organizations around the globe, who prepare and invest their time, ideas, and other resources to make education better and promote this idea in any form, that could be in social media as well.
That's great. That's great, Hanisa.
Yeah.
Like maybe we'll come back to you in a second on this. That's fantastic that you're sharing the experience of Ed Heroes on this and demonstrating how we could strengthen the triangle between the student, the teacher, and the parents, because we're all partners in the education process. I've seen some questions about actually that our form for certificates is in Arabic. We apologize for that, of course. Feel free, we will actually take your subscription information and information from the attendance at Zoom, and we'll send the certificates accordingly on this. We'll leave it at that. We'll take your attendance from Zoom, don't worry about it, and we'll send the certificates from Zoom. I'd like to go maybe to comment on or complement what Farhanisa was saying around the role of the parents and how they can be involved in supporting their kids' learning. And maybe go back to Muhammad, to some of the examples that you were sharing. I know that our audience have been asking for more examples of how social media can be used. And I know that one of the questions as well was around how can we integrate social media within learning, or within the plan for learning. Maybe I'll go back, Muhammad. Can you maybe shed some light on some of the examples that you've had as well? Those were amazing.
Thank you, Abed. Actually, I would like to mention something. It's a task on us and on all educators. You mentioned that social media has negative side and positive side as everything. So I think our job as parents and as educators is to increase and enhance the positive side as much as we can. And I think as parents and educators, we should lead the new generation and to push them and encourage them to be part of this positive content. I think we can start. It's not only videos. There are a lot of positive games, positive platforms, the positive event. Not necessarily visualized, or video only videos, but maybe also text. What you call that, like literatures. So I think we can take that into our schools, and we can create some clubs, and we can share and make students be part of this change, and they can feel that value when they go and create and be part of this positive change. They can feel that value, and they can taste the taste of this value. For example, in this song, I have collaborated with a student to be part of this song and to deliver this song to the audience. This guy is, or this boy is a seventh grade student who has nice voice, and he used that voice to be part of educational content. And I think he enjoyed it, and I think he tasted the feeling of being a positive part of the media. So this is what I wanted to add. It will be a challenge. The positive side, negative side will be found in every new tool and every new trend, and it's our job to enhance the positive side.
To use it to the best and to enhance the positive side, exactly, 100%. Someone from the audience was asking, where is learning happening? And I think this is an interesting question that maybe I'd like to integrate within our discussion. Now, the relationship between the teacher and student, if it gets closer, then the student will accept more. The relationship will build, and there will be acceptance between the student and the teacher more. And this will allow for harmony between the two. And maybe I'll ask our teacher, maybe Aya, to shed some light on this.
Yeah, I completely.
And of course, some of the examples.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And of course, some of the examples.
Yeah, yeah, of course, yeah. I completely agree with Muhammad with what Muhammad was just talking about. Now, it's very important for us as teachers to teach the students, and this is what we're doing. Teach them about digital citizenship. This is it supports the skills that the students need, and they'll be aware of what's going on in this digital world. Now, as a teacher, I try to model good use of social media. I hope this is what I'm doing, because I have my own social media platform where I share the best practices, and some of my students are aware of that because they know that I take pictures and I post some of the things that we do in the classroom there. Now, in the classroom, where does it happen? It happens it's a cycle. So when I'm using the social media for the students to find out, when I'm using it to tune in or provoke their thinking, I use it to help them sort out the information. It's all within the cycle of learning. For example, during the online learning, we introduced the Bitmojis and the Snapchats of Bitmoji. All the students, they have their own Bitmojis, they create their own characters, and to try to relate to them more, I created my own Bitmoji. We had a class where I used to upload everything that we've been talking about, if the student was absent, if they had internet connections. I've used it a lot during the online learning. And now, since we're back to face-to-face, I use it once in a while just to connect with them. It's also very important to point here that we don't want to limit social media to just the main platforms that we all talk about, whether it's just Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. It's not just that. There are so many different applications and websites that I was newly introduced to throughout the past 2 years, and that we can always use them. It's not just Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. And this also brings us to an important point here where us teachers and how we use social media to collaborate with each other and to share our knowledge, whether it's a YouTube channel, whether it's an Instagram community, a Facebook community. There's a lot of these on the different platforms, and teachers always share their best practices. So as a teacher, using this in my daily teaching and learning, it's very important for the students because I feel like I'm connected to them more. And we need to speak the students' language, and for how we're living nowadays, social media is definitely the way to do that. The learners will be more engaged and will be able to relate to them and connect, and hopefully they'll be able to learn better this way.
Amazing, Aya. Thank you very much. I think you've said it 100% when you said that we need to speak the student language, basically. That's how we can get to the student. That's how we can affect actually their learning. That's how we can encourage them, in fact, to learn and actually develop the skills of their at different ages. I think this is where what we need to focus on. I'd like maybe to go back maybe to Peter. Over the past couple of years, learning has changed. The pandemic has changed everything around us. In social media, there was a huge use or a spike in using social media. And as well as there has been also a spike in using social games or online games by students. And to my surprise, actually, I was always saying, well, they're using games to waste time. But it was actually, in fact, games was only a channel for students to communicate to each other. So it was their way of communication to each other. And maybe I'll invite Peter, because of your experience as well with games. What do you think of that? How the pandemic has affected our learning and has affected this? And are we seeing more peer-to-peer learning happening at the moment? Are students sharing with each other more learning? So maybe I'll leave this to you.
Yeah, I think that of course, I mean, now there's a lot more screen time, so that's of course one result of the pandemic, that like all of us now, we're sitting here in front of our screens and enjoying this webinar. But I think that also there's been a peak in all use of like social media and everything, but also a massive peak in games, and people are playing more games than ever. And I think this is something that again, many view games as like a waste of time, but I think that no matter what game you are playing, you are always learning. I mean, of course, then we can discuss if it's learning something useful or not. I mean, learning all the different Pokemons, and learning that by heart might not be very useful in like real life. But it's a great example of the fact that our kids can learn hundreds of names by heart if they really want to and if they're really into the experience. So I think that this is also what we need to do, is that we need to learn from the best games and the best game designers, that how do we create fantastic learning experiences, learning experiences that are as good as the best games out there. I think this is something that is very important, and there is kind of like no excuse for not doing that. And we are competing always for the attention, always for the time of all of us, and that our kids are no different. So we need to create fantastic learning experiences. Then if you look at many of the games, I mean, take Minecraft or take Roblox, that has been like a huge phenomenon now for quite a while. And in there, kids are building their own games. They are building the games together. So you learn skills that all of us need in life. How do you work well with others, and teamwork, collaboration, leadership, all of that. And you're learning that through play. And this is the most natural way of learning. I mean, this is how all of us humans learn through.
Peter, you went on mute.
Yeah, okay. So basically, I think that this is something that, again, is just going back to learning through play, and games are fantastic for, learning. And maybe one final example, like we have been studying this in Finland since like the 80s. And, at one point, boys here in Finland, they spoke better English than girls. And then if you look at like the differences in media consumption and like why that was, is that the boys were playing more games and the games were in English. So in order to play the games, you had to learn the language. And this is something that I think is very interesting. There again, you have the motivation to play games and then you learn. So you could say that, the boys here in Finland learned better English because they played more games. So a very, very positive outcome. And I think that this is something that we should look at games, that we can really learn anything by playing games. But of course, we then need to design the games accordingly. So I think that this is, something that, again, we shouldn't look at games as, like a waste of time, but it's actually a fantastic way to learn. It's just that we need to be much better at designing these fantastic learning experiences. So I think games are a huge opportunity going forward when it comes, to the future of learning.
Oh, that's fantastic. As always, one of my colleagues actually at QRTA says, learning is a social process, basically. And that's where social media or social activities in general, whether it's social media, social games, interactive content, or basically any form of this social process comes together, it encourages learning. And so that's why learning is a social process. And I think that's what when we went into individual online sessions, that's the part that we were missing. We're always supported by a great team behind the scenes, and they've updated, actually, I saw some comments around the certificate link, only in Arabic. The certificates link is updated and it's in both languages, Arabic and English. So anyone who's looking to fill out the registration or the certificates link so they can receive their certificate in English or Arabic, of course, that has been updated. Great support team. Thank you very much on this. And just want to mention one thing when Peter was talking about the fantastic learning experience. And I think this is what everyone is thinking right now, metaverse, this is going to be virtual. We're going to wear our virtual glasses and we're going to be in class. No one knows until now. There are experiments with metaverse, and I invite you all to think of what's coming and to see what's coming. But one important item that we should mention, and we as QRTA were proud about actually working in this area, is the pedagogies for education. No matter what tools you use, no matter what technology you use, and no matter what content you use, it's actually the pedagogy and the learning skills or the education strategies that you use within your classroom and with your students that make a difference. And that's basically what we do at QRTA and what we encourage within our programs, whether the subject-specific programs or the teaching diploma or our instructional leadership diploma. This is all actually within our DNA, I would say. Encouraging this is basically what we need. Enhancing our pedagogy is what we need to actually do, and that's what we need to be focusing on. I think we're coming very close to the time of the session. This has been a great session with everyone. I'd like to invite my fellow and my colleague panel members to maybe say closing remarks. Farhanisa, how would you reflect on our discussion today? What advice would you give to our teachers and attendees and audience?
When it comes to education, I believe we have the experts talk about it already. And from this session, we could actually learn that no matter where we are, no matter what are we doing, it is the most adaptive people of changes that is going to survive, because of the rapidly changing situation and also the use of technology that is getting massive and more massive each day. I think we all could do our part. Teachers is doing their part in teaching the students as well as the kids, and parents could guard them at home. And as the society, because it's an ecosystem. When we're talking about education, we cannot talk only about one certain aspects only. It is everyone's responsibility. So it is also our responsibility to keep, a positive environment, not only in our life, but also bring it to social media, because nothing is impossible, in this era of the openness of everything. Basically, let's open up to kindness. Let's open up to positive changes and impact in social media. I think that's pretty much from me to conclude all the sessions today.
Thanks, Farhanisa, and we appreciate, of course, the advice from your experience at Heroes as well and what you've been doing. Let me invite Muhammad. Muhammad, amazing examples, amazing work. What advice would you give our audience?
For me, I would like to mention that before being a teacher, I didn't have a YouTube channel, and I didn't know how to do any edit on any kind of media. And I think that was very complicated for me to do that. And I was amazed of how many people have the knowledge to create content. But then when I started steps by small steps, I found it was very easy. and it was very useful. So I encourage everyone that has a message, that has something to deliver, something positive to add to education, to not hesitate to start his idea and grow it step by step. And now we live in, by the way, for my media, I create the sound, or I collaborate for the sound with a creator from Kuwait. For the drawings, a creator from Lebanon, and now from Russia. So now we have the ability to seek for a help from everyone and to collaborate from any person from any place into the world, but needs from us to go and spread our ideas and work for it, and to be a positive addition to the media.
Thank you, Muhammad. I will come back to you, Aya, because I know you have something special as well. But maybe I'll ask Peter, what advice would you give us, Peter, on this for our audience, considering as well your experience as an entrepreneur and your experience with games and families' engagement as well?
Yes, so I think that my message is that, the technology is out there, it works, it's very easy to use. And the key thing here is that we have to put it into good use. And I really encourage all of us, to learn by doing. And I think that we can learn by doing together. So I think that is something that is really important. And technology is just technology. It's really what you do with it that matters. And that's something that I think, you do best by, doing it and learning by doing. So let's go out there and do stuff together. Thanks.
Very much. I'd like to remind people as well that you can register with the certificates using the link that was posted earlier. And I'd like also to invite you to sign our partner Heroes Manifesto. This has been posted on the chat. Farhanisa spoke about it earlier, and this is to encourage you all to also sign it as well. Aya, what would you give your fellow teachers advice?
Okay. The main thing is, as educators, don't be afraid to try new things. This is the most important thing, and don't limit yourself to what the mainstream are using. Don't limit yourself to just Instagram, TikTok, these specific platforms. Don't be afraid to try new things. Social media, for me as Aya, when I first started my Instagram, why did I start it? I have my own platform, and many people were asking about a list of different applications that I use. I post everything on my social media platform, which is called One Ammani Teacher. Now, why did I start this? I started this for teachers so that I was introduced to a community of teachers, and then I thought that why don't we share this also over here? I wanted to encourage teachers, and that's why when Muhammad was talking about this part, to encourage teachers to start their own platform so that we can create a community of educators collaborating, helping each other out. This is what we need. And in this way we can help our students in a better way. So my main thing, if any teacher, and I'm sure I read many of the comments that the teachers wrote, their examples of how they use social media and media in their classrooms. If everyone posts, if everyone raises awareness, we'll all be able to collaborate and benefit our students in a better way.
Amazing. Thank you very much. I'd like to mention one thing as well. I think we try to integrate all of the questions within the session. So I hope that we addressed all the questions and answered all of them. One advice that I would say from my side, whether you're a parent or a teacher, invite your student or kid to an experiment. Social media is an experiment, and actually you can learn together. I, as a parent, I learn a lot from my kids, and you as a teacher, you could learn a lot from your students. So this is a great example that you can all use within your classrooms. It's a journey. Now we can ride it together, or we can be afraid of it and not try it. So it's a great example for all of us to learn from. I hope this session was really a great session for all of us. I'd like to thank all of my colleagues and panel members. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank our partners at Heroes. And I hope you all enjoyed the session and it was beneficial to all of you. If there are any questions, I saw one question about when do we get the certificate? Hopefully tomorrow. I think the team will work on it. And I'd like to thank all of our team at EdHeroes and QRTA who worked to put this session together. Thank you all. Thank you very much. And have a good night or good morning or good evening, whichever actually, wherever you are. We have great countries actually who have joined, and we have great attendance. Thank you very much and enjoy your day. Thank you.